think I showed you that last time.
Okay, let's talk about this. Reporting.
Right from the start, the judge isn't wasting time. Reporting is kind of important. Translation? Someone's been skipping out on probation check-ins, and that's a serious red flag in the legal world. Absconding doesn't just mean missing a meeting. It means dodging justice.
He's never reported.
Really? Who is this?
That's him.
Okay, do y'all want to pick up a hearing on this right now or not?
So up to you, Judge, if you want to go to do everything else and to come back to this when we come back to it again.
It's a one issue matter.
Yeah.
One issue is only issue.
Yeah, the figured report.
24 CR 121 is now called the State of Texas versus Robert Leon Weaver. Is that you?
Yes, sir. My name is Robert Leon Weaver.
Okay. And you're here with your attorney. Do you recognize this man?
When the judge makes sure everyone recognizes each other, it's not just polite, it's procedural. In court, identity and representation must be crystal clear before any testimony or motion moves forward.
Sir,
Notice the calm before the storm here, because what's coming next gets strange fast.
I've seen him before.
do you know who he is? You know his name.
Is it Mr. West?
Good for you. And then the state's attorney, and do you recognize the probation officer here?
That's your officer.
Yes, I've
Oh.
seen her before. Also.
All right. There is a first amended motion to revoke probation that has been filed, sir, in this case. And we're going to go over this, okay? Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any statements that you might make during this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Lower your hand. Can we proceed in summary and waive a formal reading?
We can, Your Honor, yes.
In summary, this first amended motion to revoke probation that has been filed on September 3rd of this year, that would have been 2 months ago, that it states that on May 6th, a year ago, about a year and a half ago in 2024, that you were sentenced to 10 years in prison. That was suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 10 years for the second degree felony of arson. Is all of that true?
We placed on probation.
Is that true or not?
Could you repeat that for me so I could get it?
All right, let me ask you, is English your language?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you understand? Okay.
Could you just repeat it and just more?
This motion states that on May 6th of 2024, about a year and a half ago, in this court, you were sentenced to 10 years in prison, and that was suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 10 years for the second degree felony of arson. True or untrue?
That's false.
That's false?
I do believe
Okay.
it is.
And here's where things take a turn. The defendant flat out denies ever pleading guilty to arson, even though the judge says it happened right in front of him. So who's telling the truth? Is this confusion or something deeper?
It's false to the
All right.
best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Because I did not commit arson, sir.
Oh.
To the best of my knowledge. As it is stated in the English Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, I did not commit arson.
You said
I was asleep in a abandoned vehicle, which caught on fire while I was.
we might want to have him looked at. This is already
Okay.
signed.
That's got
The fact is, on May 6th of 2024, you stood right in front of me under oath and pleaded guilty to this crime. And you were sentenced to a plea agreement of 10 years in prison, probated for 10 years.
Your Honor,
Are you saying you don't remember doing that?
was my attorney Mr. Dunstan at that time?
No.
No, it was not. And I
No.
do not remember
There's a
clearly.
Mr. Dusler.
Dusler, you think?
Dusler, possibly.
Yeah.
I remember him being called a liar in front of your court, so. Mr. Dusler being
but
called a liar.
The court reporter would have taken everything down. The court reporter right here. She takes everything down that happens in the court. She's the official court reporter. I can pull that up and see what was said, but you're stating you did not plead guilty? because that's what this states, and this is always correct. Do you have a memory problem?
I do, sir. I was in 5 major.
When the judge asks, "Do you have a memory problem?" that's not sarcasm, it's concern. But the response? 5 major car accidents. It's both tragic and bizarre. You can feel the courtroom shifting from legal formality to confusion. How do you handle a case when the defendant's story keeps slipping between reality and delusion?
I'm sorry, what? You were what?
5 major car.
I can't hear you.
5 major car wrecks.
Yes, sir. 5 major car.
Well, who's driving the car terribly? All right, all right. Have you ever been evaluated by a psychiatrist or psychologist?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what did they say?
that I was not to go into combat missions for the United States Air Force.
While you're driving a vehicle?
Well, while I was flying, driving, or operating a locomotive, yes.
Your Honor, and there was an evaluation by Dr. Capon on April 17th of 2024.
There was a motion filed
Right.
for that by Mr. Dusler, and then the court received an evaluation
I remember on February the 6th of 2024, being called out of my jail cell and falsely identified as a member of those released HEW personal attendance. And being falsely identified several times and impersonated. I have been registered as a lethal weapon with my hands since I was about 10 years age. So my grandfather was in the Korean War. And my father was in the Vietnam War. So yes, my grandfather died in 2012. My grandmother died in 2014. I might have had a dog.
Step back from so she can relive right here on kind of between.
Well, my grandfather died in 2012. My grandmother died in 2014, both of them were age 86. In 1995, after the beginning of the Gulf War, 1995, something happened, shocking, all of it being on the First Navy. If I could go to the wood group, I'd be willing to do that and remain on probation here in your tropical climate, even though I do have to take rules. If it pleases the court. If it pleases the court, I'd be willing to go to the wood group, the psychiatrist that would do. But I've been malnourished. I've lost over 100 pounds of body mass. It's that standing weight.
I'm looking at these mental evaluation documents, several of which are in this file.
Yes, sir.
Now pay attention. The judge is combing through prior evaluations. This is where competency to stand trial becomes central. It's not about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about mental capacity. Can this man even understand what's happening? The system has to decide if he's legally fit to face justice.
This would have all been dealt with well before we ever placed him on probation, which he was placed on probation May 6th of 2024. I got a report on 12/12/23, which states that the defendant has a mental illness, and it was checked off any appropriate or recommended treatment of service, no evidence to warrant a competency evaluation, recommended for mental health counseling. That's what was done there by,
Genoa Spindletop Baptist Hospital. It's so far fixed. So, you know, if they made it for the ballpark on that guy.
yeah, this is just. Do you have a history of drug alcohol abuse? Yes, I use crack and cigarettes. Do you think you have withdrawal symptoms from medications while you're in jail? Yes. Yes, my ass hurts. That's what his response was.
Yes, sir.
And then you stated that you were sexually assaulted by water. So
That
this doesn't make any
seems- that
sense.
seems incomplete.
That seems, yeah, that does seem very, but that, what they put is exactly word for word what you say.
They,
The evaluator that evaluated at the jail. And that was before we placed you on probation, actually. So we'd had to have something that conformed with your ability to be competent and here's
I suffer from major depression, Your Honor, and
you ought to take this job.
I do not use narcotics. I quit using narcotics 20 years ago when I was
Well,
major car accident. I'm based on my psychotropic medications. I was warned by Dallas not using Dallas MHM and mental health and mental retardation that narcotics, even smoking marijuana would interfere with my psychotropic medication. Let's quit, I'll quit, you want it? If you look at my list, I have no effect on, you know, other class A or class 2 felony offenses at all. None. Driving with a seatbelt. I don't have a seatbelt. So I admit I'm not the best driver. Yes, not the best friend, isn't the best mother.
How many criminal convictions do you have?
At least 30, I think, misdemeanors mostly. I think the worst offense that I had, maybe double that, but at least 30. Not that cases.
Okay, I'm looking at the public safety report that is required for the magistrates to look at for setting bond, and the criminal history is filled in. This was something that was done earlier this year by one of the magistrates. And okay, John, I've heard enough here. What I'm going to do is
Finally, the judge calls it a competency evaluation by Dr. Lupon. It's the right move. This courtroom went from confusion to compassion, from accusation to assessment, and that's the balance of justice, protecting the process and the person. What would you have done in this judge's place?
I want you to file me it'd be so kind, prepare a motion so I can file this and order Dr. Lupon to evaluate the defendant for competency. That's our first go, and then we will review that and then determine what is in. Hold on a second. Let me see. What's in Mr. Weaver's best interest in this case. Okay. Let me review this in 4 weeks to make sure that it slips through the crack.
Thank you.
Oh, you're Jen Mard?